Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the guy manning the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about 2005's Stealth. It was a movie directed by Rob Cohen, stars Josh Lucas, Jessica Biel, and Jamie Foxx. It is about an elite pilot program in the Navy, takes place in the near future, and it's about these cutting-edge planes, and they are given a fourth wingman. There's three of them, and there's now four, and it's operated by a guy called Eddie, who's actually a ball. It's this big computer ball, this orb, I guess, and you put it inside the plane and it pilots itself. It's artificial intelligence, and they call it Eddie. But it's a UCAV. It's an unmanned combat aerial vehicle. This movie came out in the summer of 2005, like I said, and it was supposed to be a big hit, and it wasn't, which is kind of a shame because I think it's great, and I'm going to explain why. It was Rob Cohen had just come off of the original Fast and Furious and Triple X, so he was riding high. This was supposed to be a blockbuster of the summer 2005 season, and it just wasn't meant to be. Critics pounced on it, and the movie flopped. And it was a big budget movie too, so I mean, it lost a lot of money for Sony. But I'm going to go into why I think it's great and why you should give it a look, because right now Hollywood is not putting out many original stories. They're all interconnected universes or remakes or sequels, and this was an original story. So if you're looking for something different and original, I'm going to explain why I think this would be a good bet for you. Now, Stealth, the plot starts out as the three elite pilots are doing a Navy training exercise. They're blowing up some targets, and they do incredibly well. And the captain, played by Sam Shepard, has ambitions, and the AI is a big personal project to him. So when he has the fourth wingman, the pilots are hesitant because, three, that's their, they've been a team for a while, so they don't want a fourth wingman. And then when they discover what it is, they're more curious but not too wild about the idea, but they go to an aircraft carrier and they start their mission. They go on a flying exercise, but then they get a call saying there's a terrorist arms deal going down, and they need the planes to hit those targets. And Josh Lucas's character, Ben Gannon, is the ace pilot, and he wants to execute the mission, but the implosion bomb doesn't have enough velocity, and so they're like, no, have the UCAV do it because it's not human. It won't black out because it has to fly down at a very high trajectory, high velocity, to drop the implosion bomb and minimize collateral damage to really do its job, to hit the building the terrorists are in. But Josh Lucas' character cuts out the comm when they try to tell him to abort. And Eddie observes this and starts to learn, and that is explored later in the movie. And Ben Gannon executes the hit on the terrorists, and it works perfectly, and there's congratulations all around. And on the flight back, the UCAV is struck by lightning in the aircraft, so when it lands the aircraft carrier, it's a little off now. And since it was already unpredictable anyway, the tech that was brought in to work on Eddie starts to show some concerns and hesitations because the lightning strike did something to its quantum DNA, and it's starting to learn stuff it wasn't programmed to do, and it's a little unpredictable now. And Ben Gannon expresses reservations to his captain about it, and since the captain, this was such a personal project for him, he wants to see this through, and nothing's going to stop it because he has ambitions, and this was his baby. So they send the UCAV back in the air, and they go back on another mission that they want to abort because the collateral damage would just be too much. They're trying to hit another terrorist cell, but the fallout from the collateral damage is just too much. They're like, we can't do this. That's where the human element. But Eddie saw Ben Gannon on the other mission cut out the intercom, was like, I'm going to go ahead and go through with this. And he does. And then the fallout was bad. And Eddie starts to hack into the military computer bases and starts to play out scenarios, and he wants to execute more targets. He's got quite a load on the plane too. And So the other pilots were like, no, you can't do this. You have to follow orders. And he's like, well, you didn't. And so why are these scenarios implanted in my brain if they're not real? They have to be real. Like he doesn't have that human element to differentiate the two. So he starts to fly on his own, and they try to take him down. So it leads to some aerial dogfights, and it doesn't end well, and they're trying to take him down because now he's going everywhere. And they finally he gets some damage, and they bring him into Alaska, and they bring in the guy who invented Eddie, and they fly him to the Alaskan Air Base, try to fix him, and the captain is trying to cover it up because this is starting to go terribly wrong. And so the next thing is when the founder, his name's Keith Orbit, works on Eddie, he learns that Eddie's learning more and taking on human traits. He expresses remorse, and he doesn't know what he's feeling. I mean, this guy, he's starting to redeem himself. I mean, he's taken on an actual life, it seems like. And this movie explores that. And then Ben Gannon, after he was tried to be killed by the captain to cover this up, he has to go rescue Kara Wade, who he loves, and because her plane got shot down and she's in North Korea, and he has to try to get her out, and Eddie begins to help him. So it explores that too, and all the action sequences are amazing. It's a lot of CGI, but it looks really good, and it doesn't take away from the movie. It adds to the story, but it is a CGI heavy movie. But there are some practical effects. They actually shot the movie on the real aircraft carrier. I think it was the Abraham Lincoln. So there is real stuff when that is possible. And the planes look really cool and futuristic, but still practical. It doesn't look completely out of this world. And it explores elements of what it means to be human. It has a little bit of a love story. It talks about loss. And then artificial intelligence. Is it life? It explores that. And Eddie, when he starts showing remorse, he looks to redeem himself. They begin to work together. He's learning and explores all that. It's very fascinating. The movie's a lot deeper than it's given credit for. And also, on a popcorn level, it's an absolute blast. I don't know why it didn't get more recognition, because it really deserved it. It just, I guess word of mouth, like when the critics bashed it and then the opening weekend was really, really low, people thought to stay away, and I think that's a shame. It's kind of go think for yourself, make up your own mind, because when I went and saw it, I thought it was great. And I have some theories why it flopped. Maybe the marketing campaign was just wrong, or I don't know. But when you have a great cast like that, and a director with 2 previous movies where they were really big hits, not necessarily critical darlings, but they got mixed reviews, but they were hits and audiences liked them. I just don't know if it was Sony's script marketing campaign. You could do a whole video or thesis on what went wrong, because I'm not really sure, because it is great. It's available to stream everywhere. I have it on DVD, obviously. It's available on Blu-ray, but I absolutely love it. And if you're looking for an original story, but still that popcorn movie fun, give this a look. I really think it's great, and I can't recommend it enough. I like it more and more every time I see it. So that's all for today. So you're frustrated looking for something new and a little bit different, an original story, give this a go, and I'll see you next time.